No planes today. I've only heard one. If you watched last week, you know there was a Air Force going over the house. Very, very hard to talk. Which was the first since I've been out here because we're not close to any major airport. And, I used to, if you watch my very old videos, I used to have to be quiet while the airplanes went over because they were jets near O'Hare Airport. It was very, very loud. But out here we get little propeller planes, and last week for some reason there were tons of them while I was trying to do the video. Anyway, that's enough of that. We have, at this point, only one Renegade plant out of 8 that I planted that is going to make it to the end of the season and possibly produce another pumpkin. Here is the pumpkin that I have the most hope for. It is a little over basketball size now, and I'll probably end up giving it to the neighbor's daughter because the neighbor's been very kind to me. Another pumpkin I think may have been pollinated yesterday on the same vine, and if so, hopefully we'll get 2 good-sized pumpkins. It's in here somewhere. Oh there, way at the end. Right here. I think you can see it. So, we'll see if we get 2. We've got a 3rd little pumpkin, but I think that's going to be like the other 2 little pumpkins that I've harvested. They have sort of a soft surface to them, which means that they're not going to make it through to Halloween. Pumpkins should be very, very firm feeling when you harvest them. There's that pumpkin right there. If they're not firm, that means they're going to rot. Let's see here. Oh yeah, it's right down here. Oh, no, it's not really that firm. We'll see. This one may make it through, but it's fairly high-sized. So, you'll have to excuse me. It's another one of those cases where I can barely see what I'm doing. There we go. That's a really, really tiny one. So, there'll be no donating pumpkins to the food pantry this year. Very disappointing year. And I still can't quite put my finger on what happened. Most people who I correspond with are blaming it on the weather. It was very, very hot for about a month and a half here, and didn't rain a whole lot either. And as you know, supplementary watering with city water just doesn't seem to fill the bill usually. So I hesitate to blame it on Renegade. What's supposed to be special about Renegade is that it doesn't drop too many female flowers that are pollinated. But what I did see is not too many female flowers, which may be in part due to fertilizing errors, but I don't know, I don't know, I'm totally at a loss. Next year I'll be back to my old standard Racer Plus, which I used for several years earlier in the last decade, and was happy with, and that's what I'm going to stick with, because enough experimenting. I haven't really been happy with anything else. Over here, the mystery pepper, the one that was marked Mad Hatter, and turned out to be quite something else. There's one. Right there, I think. I tried one. It tastes like a green pepper on steroids. Really pronounced green pepper taste. I didn't bite around the seeds, so I don't know if it's hot. There was no heat at all in the skin. So they're okay, whatever they are. I wouldn't grow them again, except by accident. But that was disturbing to be looking forward to Mad Hatter peppers, and because somebody switched the marker, or perhaps they had it wrong at the nursery, you didn't get what you wanted. Very disappointing. We've had some cherry tomatoes this week, and that's from the plant that comes up on its own every year. And lots and lots of a few big beefs. Lots and lots of beefsteaks. You see some more getting ready for harvest right there, if you can see it. And I'm going to be giving some of those to the food pantry today. We're still getting garden salsa peppers, but they're getting twirly rather than straight. That means nothing. I'm not going to worry about it. And there's our eggplant. We may have two of them. There's another one, but there we go. There's our eggplant. The other one you may be able to see there. So we might get two eggplants, which is a little low in production terms, but I'll take what I can get. Here's big beef. A lot of those ready for harvest today. I harvest a little bit early when I'm taking something to the food pantry, just because they probably can't get it out right away, and you know, by the time they get stuff out, it's pretty awful if it's totally ripe. So, and I know food stores that donate to the food pantry, their fresh stuff tends to be overripe, so I'm not going to add to the problem. We got a lot of wasps flying around in here. Okay, I'm going to have to come back later. We've got some weeds in our radishes. And there's our carrots coming along. Oh yeah. I lost track of, I think this is actually a cherry tomato here. I thought it was that interesting tomato that came up by itself last year, but I think it's a cherry tomato. Over here, here's the interesting tomato that came up. I lost track of some of the fruit, but we still have, excuse me, these 2 or 3 here. So I'm going to keep watch on them and hopefully get a few of those. What I'm hoping to do is share them with a place like Totally Tomatoes, and you know, see if they're interested in the seeds, because I'm sure people would like to buy that. It's a pretty tomato. I don't like the way it tastes. Salmon colored tomato, but rather small. But a lot of people do like the way it tastes, and it's heirloomy. People like that, so we'll see what my little scheme comes to. If it goes the way things have gone this year, I'm not going to say. So, yeah, it's mostly a tomato garden this year. Excuse me. I'm always froggy in the summer, and usually in the winter too. Lots of allergies. Anyway, we do have, or at least we did have, 1 cucumber, but now I can't, oh, it's right in front of me. There we go, 1 cucumber. So we may get 1 cucumber this summer. Still small, but it's growing rapidly. Maybe 2. 1 cucumber of that little bunch looks like it's getting bigger. Maybe 3. So we'll get a few cucumbers. And here are our sunflowers that came up all on their own. I think most of them are Pikes Peak. And this this is a Pike's Peak that has been pollinated and is forming seeds. Oh, here we go. I'll be able to tell for sure what kind of sunflower they are when the seeds are totally developed, because Pike's Peak has unique seeds. And what's nice about seeds is that usually sunflowers get attacked by birds and all kinds of things, squirrels, when the seeds are mature, and nothing seems to attack Pike's Peak. The seeds are about over an inch long, and very spiky. So at the ends. So we'll see when that matures what kind of sunflower that is, but I think it is Pike's Peak because of what was growing here last year. So, but this one is two-toned and has lots of buds all over it. And I never planted anything like that, so it came from somebody else's yard. So it's a cutting flower, I think, more than a regular sunflower. So anyway, I think for the remainder of the season I'll call this somebody's backyard garden because it's not really a pumpkin patch this season. Over here you see the potatoes dying back like they're supposed to. Yeah, so there's what's left of our pumpkin patch. One healthy plant. A couple others making comebacks, but I haven't seen any of them do that successfully. So there's one making a comeback. Yeah, so I'll keep making updates, but not expecting much at this point. Here's the better things next year. See you later.